Hello, all viewers, and I did not realize we are live. Okay, great to see you all back. I can see the first comment from Abhishek Srivastav, sir. Analysis of my game. Okay, Abhishek, I'll analyze your game. So the first game is from to be analysis from Abhishek. Second comment I can see from Poonam Gupta. She says, "Sir, please analyze my team's games pawn stars." Okay, Poonam Gupta, but I cannot take all the IDs. Can you just give me a couple of IDs so that I can analyze the game? Pawn stars, I have
Hello,
noted
all
down.
viewers, and I did not realize we are live. Okay, great to see you all back. I can see the first comment from. Okay, sorry for the echo, guys. There was some background noise. Okay, so let's see who all are playing today, and I can see then Srikara Prathamesh has analyzed us. Prathamesh has requested to analyze, so that we'll take Prathamesh's game. Then we have Srikara who has requested. Okay, and okay, I think that's it. I think I'm a bit late today to share with everyone, so just a request to all the viewers, just make sure that you share the URL with the remaining of our group. Okay, so let's start. Let's check the first game that is from Abhishek Srivastav. Okay, okay, so Abhishek Srivastav is playing against We Never Walk Alone. Let's check what's happening in the game. It's a live game which is going on right now. So, We Never Walk Alone is from Pawns Hurricane and Abhishek Srivastav is from Abhishek's club. So, e4 e5 was played. E4 e5. Okay, I think the game is over, but let's check what happened. E4 e5 f4. That is a king's gambit, guys, and this is very rarely played, so it's a nice weapon to surprise your opponent, and if opponent is not prepared from black side, he might get a shock in the opening. So queen h4 is not the right way to play. Yeah, g3 will always uh, get rid of all the problems. So here, Abhishek, if you are playing, you have a counter attack. If you like to attack more, you can go for the d5 line here. This is a Falkbill counter gambit, which is played against the king's gambit, and it helps you to gain actually a good advantage because e takes d5 is the next theoretical move, and then you have to play pawn to e4, creating a good control over the center in the e4 on the e4 square, controlling the f3 and d3 squares. So I think d5 can be played here. There are other moves or mainline of the king's gambit which you can play. Guys, just let me know in the comment section if the voice and video is clear. If there is any lag or there is any problem, just let me know in the comment section. I'll just try to fix it. So queen h4 was played, which is not the right move. Abhishek, queen comes back to f6, pawn to d3, pawn takes f4, bishop takes f4, pawn d6, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e2, knight e5, and then we have bishop takes e5, d takes e5, and castle. So if you compare both the positions right now, if you look at white's position, rook is in the open file, attacking excellent in this f file. King is castled, knight is developed, bishop is not in the best place, but it's developed it's developed right now. Queen can come by queen d2 or some other moves. Knight can jump to d2 or c3 immediately. The first thing that black has to handle is he has to handle this discovered attack. So he has to make sure that whenever the knight moves, there is no pressure on the queen. So that is the first thing that black has to handle. Then he has this bishop c5 check in the hand, which is one gaining a move for with the tempo with the check. Then we have knight h6 and knight g4 move as well. Bishop h6 is available, so black has his chances of developing, but he is slightly behind the development now. He should have concentrated more with development of the pieces to bishop to c5, knight to f6, instead of putting the queen on h4 and bringing it back, wasting a couple of moves. He could have moved his minor pieces to get a better position. Let's see what happened in the game. Bishop c5 check was given, king to g2 was played, supporting the knight, and also avoiding this bishop h3 move so that the king can capture here. And hence, I think white black played queen h6 just to keep this bishop h6 in the h3 in the game. So knight takes e4 was played, bishop h3 check was given, king to h1, and bishop takes f1. Queen takes f1. Now queen is threatening this queen takes f7 check, and let's see what happened. Knight f6 was played, knight to c3 was played, queen e3, knight d4, and knight d5. And now this knight is attacking the f6 as well as this queen. So black has to take a difficult decision here. Again, I think
Instead of moving the queen here, black should have gone for castles on the shorter side. Longer side, yeah, he can go, but then there is this knight f7 move available, which will fork queen, this rook, and the rook on d8. So short castle is preferable here, which will put the black's king in a better position. So knight c3 was played, then queen e3 I think should be avoided. Castle should be the better move. Knight e5, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen f7 check, king moves, and queen to d7 check and mate. So this is a complete miss from black side. Knight d5 is not the it's actually enticing move for this both queens and knight to capture on d5. And once it is captured, you can just deliver this queen f7 and queen d7 check and mate. So Abhishek, the opening theory is something that you have to prepare here. This was not the right way to play. Queen h4 is not the best move that you can play in the game. So just make a list of all the things that you have to prepare. We have analyzed a lot of your games, Abhishek, in the past, and I hope you have prepared a list that what all things you have to prepare, what all things you have to study from both the sides, white and black, to make sure that you are on track and you are improving every day. Okay, let's go back to tournament, try to get the next game. Next request was from Poonam for Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars, I think there are four or five players joining. Chess Blasters, even very less attendance from Chess Blasters. I'm not sure why. So Gaur has is playing from Pawn Star and she's playing against Vijay KP. So Gaur, I think I'm sorry if I'm calling you she because last time I think you're chatted with some lady's name, so that's why I'm uh, calling you she. So don't worry about that. So this is the game. Gaur versus Vijay. KP Vijay is from Pawn Hurricane and Gaur is from Pawn Stars. So e4, d6, pawn d4, knight d7, pawn f4, pawn c6, knight f3, queen c7, pawn c4, knight f6, knight c3, pawn e5. So this structure actually which black has played, it has to be played in accordance with g6, bishop g7 and castles. This structure is not actually happening right now. White has actually a better structure here. All the pawns are there in center, knights are developed, bishops are having good space to develop. So white is a lot better as compared to what black is right now. E5, I think yes, you have to hit in the center, but I think this might not work for you right away. Let's see what happened in the game. E5 was played, bishop to e3 was played, bishop e7, bishop e2, castles and castles. We have knight to h5, f takes e5, d takes e5, and we have knight takes e5. Here I think d5 is also possible to play. So in case c takes d5, we have c takes d5 as well as knight takes d5. Both the options are present here. Then we have knight takes e5, knight takes e5, and bishop takes h4. So this h5 knight is was actually hanging. So here, when black played knight h5, it started this blunder actually. Blunder means it allowed a white to capture the pawn on e5, attacking this knight on h5. This knight is not in a good position, guys. So first point, which I always try to explain everyone is that don't keep your pieces hanging. In this case, you have just put your knight on h5 without thinking much, and that knight is now hanging. He doesn't have any good squares to go. Okay, so don't put your knight in such a bad positions. And white has taken a very good advantage of this. So white has played f takes e4, d takes e4, and white has won the game. But let's check what happened. So let's go back to the position that we were in. Knight h5 was played here, and after knight h5, we have f takes e5, d takes e5, and knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen bishop takes h5, and we have knight takes c4. So black did get the extra pawn on c4 here. Bishop takes f7 was played, rook takes f7, and rook takes f7. Queen, king takes f7, and we have queen check. So this is a very nice double attack. If you look at this position, guys, white has very beautifully found out this double attack wherein this bishop takes f7 is played, bishop takes f7, rook takes f7, rook takes f7, king takes f7, and queen f1 check, which is giving a double attack to this king and the knight here. So this is going to capture the knight, exposing the king. Black's king got exposed after the f7 pawn was captured. Of course, there was exchange on f7, and then the c4 knight can be captured for free here. So we have king g8, queen takes c4 check, king moves to h8, and when we have rook to f1, queen to d8, we have pawn d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, and all white's pieces are in good position now. Look at black's rook. It's stuck inside. There is no way that this rook can be developed. Any 7 is available. We have a bishop is free. Bishop is free to move anywhere. Bishop can come to c5. This bishop can go to e6 probably, or some other move for this bishop. Or I think black is not in the best of its position. So bishop f6 was played, knight takes f6, and g takes f6 is compulsory here, as queen cannot capture f6 because of rook takes f6. And I think bishop d4 should be winning now. So bishop d4 was played so that this f6 pawn can be attacked twice with the rook as well as the bishop. And then bishop, after bishop takes f6, this check and the queen will be gone. Okay, so king f6 was played, bishop takes f6, and here black resigned the game because after queen is lost, there is no way that these two pieces can match what this queen is having the advantage of. Also, the black king is exposed. If black king could have been in a safer castle, then black might have thought about putting up some fight. But in this case, it's actually worthless. It's not worth to put any fight here. So let's go back to the tournament, guys, and just try to find the next game. So we have Prathamesh who has requested us. So from Pawn Stars, we have checked your game, Gaur, and if time permits, we will check one more game from your team. But I can see that right now all of them have lost. I'm not sure if they are playing actually. So make sure they're playing. And then we have Prathamesh 555 who is requested us. Let's check. So I'm just also making sure that teams don't take advantage of us. World Chess Star had requested us to add, but we have to add blacklist this team because they have not participated at all. Okay, there has to be some participation if you are giving your request, guys, from your team, because there are a lot of other teams who are waiting in the background to play this tournament. So don't create injustice for those teams, guys. If you want to play, please, you can give me your team name early in the morning. I'll add your team, but after adding the team, don't go into such situation that you are not able to participate. At least let us know that you are not able to participate. I will remove the team. I can add some other team so that other players can play. Okay, let's check Prathamesh's game now. Prathamesh is playing against Sasvi, and let's check what's happening in the game. Sasvi, okay, so black has won this game. So Prathamesh has won this game. Let's check. Prathamesh is rating nice, about 2000 now. So e4, e5 was playing. Prathamesh is black. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. This is the Italian game. c3 is a Geico piano, guys. Pawn d6, pawn h3, knight f6. We have pawn to d3 and Geico piano. d3, d4 is generally played in Geico piano, but that's fine. d3 also you can play and continue the game. Castles, we have pawn d5, e takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, and queen to e2. And rook to e8 was played, knight to d2. Then we have bishop f5. Now this d3 pawn is kind of weak in the position, and black is rightly playing in the correct way to attack this d3 pawn. Probably rook can also join on d8 and try to attack this d3 pawn, putting more pressure on this weak pawn. So we have knight e4 here. Knight e4 will be answered by bishop to b6, bishop to d2, rook to d1, rook to d8, rook to d1, queen takes d3. Finally, the pawn is fallen. So this is how you can take advantage of the weak pawns, guys. Whenever you find that there are weak pawns in opponent's camp, try to attack in this way. Put the bishop on f5. In this case, d3 was the weak pawn. Get the rook on d8 and try to attack this d3 pawn. So queen takes d3, rook takes d3, and we have knight to g3. Now we also have this nice tactic. If this knight is moved, then we can capture this rook because this pawn is pinned by the bishop. Okay, so this if you're able to move this knight, if you're able to dislodge this knight, you can create some tactics on the g file. I can see a comment from Sai Pranav. Hello Sai Pranav, hope you are doing well, enjoying chess. And yes, you are back. Good to see you back on the live stream, Sai Pranav. Yeah, do check my latest video, Sai Pranav. I have created a video on how you can use a database in your mobile. So do check that video and make sure that you comment, put your questions over there in that video. So bishop to g6, we have rook to e1, and here I think pawn to e4 should have been played. Okay, pawn to e4 is attacking this knight, which is there on the f3, and once this knight moves, if the knight moves to d4, that's fine. We can capture, and bishop can capture back. And Sai Pranav says, most super channel. Wow, thank you, Sai Pranav. Thanks very much for your positive comments. It keeps me motivated. So keep this positive comments and positive feelings coming out on the chat section. It really helps me a lot. Thanks a lot, Sai Pranav. So we have rook f e1 played. So d4 has to be played here now, because if d4 is played and this knight is moved as I had instructed before, we can capture the knight on g3. So Pratham, just thought for you if you can think about this move. I'm not sure if it is working 100%, but yeah, that is something that you can consider. Okay, we have rook to d8 and we have rook to d2, pawn to f6, rook to d e1. King to f7, we have bishop to e3, bishop takes e3, f takes e3, and now this is going to be the second weak pawn in the position. First was d3, which was captured by black, and this is the second weak pawn in the position, which can be captured by again black after some time. It's not immediate, but after some time, if black gets some time, black can put his knight on c4, probably knight a5, knight c4, try to attack this two pawns at the same time, and then it can be captured after some time. Okay, a6 was played. A6 after e6, pawn to e4, knight to a5, king to f2. We have knight to c4, pawn to h4, and pawn to h5. Now this there was a threat of this trapping the bishop here by playing h5. Hence, black has played h5 and avoided the bishop from getting trapped. We have pawn to a4, knight to d2, attacking this d2 knight. Sujal Dambe says, "Hi sir, hi, good night. Hi, hello Sujal, hope you are doing well. I think I'm seeing your comment for the first time on the channel, so welcome to my channel. You can check a lot of chess videos here, Sujal, and you can let me know if you have any suggestions for me or any improvements that we can do on the channel. So thanks for being on the channel, Miss Sujal. We have knight d2 move, then knight takes d2, rook takes d2, and knight to f1. We have rook takes e2, rook takes e2, and now king to e6, knight to e3. Now I think e3 knight is very well placed. It can go to d5, it can go to c4. From there it can go to a5. So knight on c4 is very nicely placed, and this generally happens when you have a very good centralized piece. But the problem is that after knight e3, this e4 pawn was hanging. Probably that is what white has ignored. He has not kept in mind that this e4 can be captured, and after bishop takes e4, I think black might be winning straight away because he will have this beautiful e pawn as a passer. Okay, so yeah, you're welcome, Miss Sujal. I can see a thank you, sir. So bishop takes e4, pawn to b4, rook to d3, pawn to c4. We have bishop to c6 now. The a4 pawn is hanging here. So let's see what happens. Pawn to b5, a takes b5, a takes b5, and bishop to d7. Knight to d5. Here white is putting some pressure on black, but I think this is all temporary because even though this c7 pawn is attacked, it after c6 I think it can be just a simple play for black. There won't be any trouble for black to continue the game. Meanwhile, white has to struggle because he is down couple of pawns, f6 and e5. And I can see a comment from Suraj Kumar. Hello, Suraj Kumar. Hope you're doing well. Enjoying chess. Good to see. I think we have spoken before, Suraj. I have seen your comments before on the channel. So good to see you back, Suraj. And hope you're doing well, enjoying chess as much as you can. I will be happy if you are able to play this tournament. Just try to play this tournament. So knight d5, pawn c6 was played as expected. That c7 pawn was hanging, so it has to be pushed, and we have b takes c6, bishop takes c6. Now bishop jumps into the action and immediately threatens to capture the knight. If c takes, then rook takes, and black would then be three pawns up. So let's see what happened in the game. Knight went back to the e3 square, and then we have pawn to g6, supporting this h5 pawn, and also supporting the f5 and e4 pawns, e4 squares. So knight went to c2. Now we have rook to c3. Now c4 is hanging, and c2 is also attacked. But c2 right now white can relax because rook is supporting the c2 square. Uh, Sujal says, "हमारे से match खेलो." Okay, Sujal, we can play, but I'm very busy right now. Actually, I'm not able to play. I'm doing the live commentary and everything. So probably you can send me a request. If I have time, I can definitely play with you. You can send me a game where there is no time limit, so that I can take my time and we all can play according to our time convenience. Uh, Suraj Kumar says, "I like your video, sir." Yes, thank you very much, Suraj Kumar. Knight f4 4, Omkar Chakradev says, Omkar Chakradev, on which move you're saying? If you just check the move number and tell me, we can check the c6 was a blunder. Okay, let's check. Knight f4 was there. Yeah. Yes, right, Omkar. You are right. Absolutely right. A very good spotting there by Omkar Chakradev. The c6 was a blunder here because then if you see this rook has pinned a pawn. So thanks Omkar Chakradev for pointing it out. C6 was a blunder. It's a nice spot from you. and good to have you on, of you beautiful chess players on the live stream, because you help me a lot. So thanks for that, Omkar. Thumbs up to you. So the so what Omkar is explaining here is a c6 was a blunder from black side from Prathamesh. So Sasvi, if you are looking at this, you had this beautiful opportunity of playing knight f4 check and capturing the rook, because king has to move after knight f4 check. Pawn cannot capture because the pawn is pinned by the rook, and this rook can be captured by the knight. So it's a beautiful fork that we everyone missed, even I missed it, but Omkar got it. So thanks Omkar again for pointing it out. B takes c6, bishop takes c6, and again here knight f4 check was available, and again this rook could have been captured, but it's a default. I think probably white was in immense time pressure. If you look at the time pressure, Omkar, I think white was in time pressure, and probably he missed this fork because of the time pressure. That's okay. It happens to everyone. But yeah, but knight f4 check is something that you you should keep in mind whenever the pawn is pinned. Okay, so knight e3, we have pawn g6, bishop knight to c2, rook to c3, knight to e3, pawn to f5, pawn to g3, we have king to f6 and king to f1. Pawn to b5, we have king to f2 again, pawn to b4, and now black has created this b pawn. Meanwhile, I can see a comment from Ravi Pandey. Really appreciate the way you explain everything. Thanks, Ravi Pandey. It's I'm just trying my level best so that all the chess players on the channel or those who are viewing right now, they'll get some good ideas and they'll try to improve their game. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to explain. So thanks for your positive comment, and yes, thumbs up to you, Omkar. Yep. Be on my live stream. I like Omkar Chakradev to be on my live stream. Thanks, Omkar, a lot. So rook to b2 was played, pawn to b3 again, and knight to d1, rook to c2 check, and now there is no problem actually, because if even if rook captures b2, knight can capture b2 and try to blockade this pawn. Also, this knight is sitting on a dark square, so this light square bishop won't be effective right away. And also, the point is that this knight from b2 will support the c4 pawn. So in long run, this c4 pawn will remain supported. But of course, this e pawn is going to be the winning pawn for black, and it's not an easy position for white to survive here. Okay, so king f1 was played, rook to c2, rook takes b2, knight takes b2, and pawn to e4. Bishop to king to e2, king to e5, king to e3, and then we have bishop coming back to d7, knight to d1, king to d6, then we have knight to b2 again. As I said, that this knight will just keep hovering between these two squares here, d2 and b2, d1 and b2, so that this knight can support the c4 square here, c4 pawn here. At the same time, this would be a blockader for this b3 pawn. So king now comes to c5, attacks the c4 pawn, so the knight cannot go back to d1, because if knight goes, the pawn is hanging on c4. Then we have king to f5, f4. We have king to e4, d4, and this entry is actually winning for black, because now this pawn is actually unstoppable. Because if you just take a look, if bishop c6 is played and pawn e3 is played, this king cannot go back because the bishop is cutting away the diagonal, and it cannot go and support and stop this e2 pawn from getting pushed. And the knight, even knight is not in the position that this e2 pawn can be stopped. So bishop c6 and e2, e3 are simple winning moves here. So king g5 was played, and I think pawn straight away start rolling out. There was no way that this queen can be stopped, and I think it's just a formality now wherein black has to win the game. A very good game. A fork missed by white here. So from white side, Sasvi, if you're listening to this commentary, just make sure that you don't miss this forks in future. So let's go back to the tournament now. So the next one to request was Srikara. Let's check Srikara's game. Srikara is online and he's playing against Ding Dong 7. Ding Dong 7, I think he's our friend from Pakistan and he is a very good player actually. He's playing for our team Khelo Chase India, so that is a privilege for us that a good player from Pakistan is representing our team here, and thanks very much Ding Dong 7. Let's check what happens here. So Ding Dong is playing against Srikara. Srikara is playing from the best chess lovers, and we have e4 played by Ding Dong here. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight d4. This is the, I think this is called as the Italian trap. There are a couple of names for this opening, but what I remember always is Italian trap. There is one more name for this trap actually, wherein knight takes e5 is captured, and there is a simple trap of queen g5, queen takes g2, and so knight takes d4 was played, pawn takes d4, and then we have pawn to d3, bishop to c5. Okay, let's go back. Game is over, but yeah, let's see. e takes d4 was played, pawn d3, pawn c5. So here pawn d3 is okay, but pawn takes d4 is okay. I think pawn c6 and pawn d5 is something that black tries here in this positions. Pawn e5 is okay again, but I think yeah, pawn c6, pawn d5 is something black should try here. If I remember this line, I saw this game long back, around 10 years back, wherein this pawn c6 and pawn d5 was played in one of the games, and black tried to win that game by creating some pressure on the queen side here. So yeah, that's what I remembered from by looking at this position, guys. So pawn d3, bishop c5, and then we have castles, knight e7, knight d2, castles, knight to b3, bishop to b6. I think bishop is going to remain passive for the remaining part of the game here. Pawn to f4, pawn to d5. Yeah, d5 is something which I really like in this position. It gives a very good kick to this position on the on in the center. Actually, it attacks this bishop, this pawn, and if pawn takes, we have knight takes coming on very soon, and this knight then puts some pressure on this e3 and f4 squares. So pawn takes, knight takes, and pawn to f5. After pawn to f5, we have knight to e3. As I expected, that this is a beautiful fork, and I think bishop takes e3 can be played here. I think that's how to be played, because then there is a fork, and luckily this bishop has now got something to cheer up. But I think c3 and d4 can just shut this bishop down. Then again c5 has to be played to get everything open up and get this good diagonal for, or even c6 and bishop c7, queen d6 can be played just to try something on the king side here. Okay, so we have queen f6, pawn to c3, bishop takes f5, and here what if sorry, I'm just thinking a bit, guys. What if g4 was played here? G4, I think, yeah, queen G6 can be played. No, queen G6 is not available because of rook takes F5. So what if G4 is played here? Am I missing something? I think I'm missing something here. Why was G4 not played? I'm definitely missing something here, guys. So just let me know if you find it out. You can just mention in the comment section if G4 is a wrong move. But according to me, G4 could be playable here. Of course, we have G4, bishop takes G4, queen takes G4, and pawn E2 check. I think that is something which White was fearing about, and hence he did not play G4 move. Anyways, I felt G4 is still playable. Bishop takes G4, queen takes G4, pawn E2, king G2, d takes e1, f1. We have rook takes f1, and the queen is attacked. Yeah, it's an interesting position, but I think it's just difficult choice for white here. Given that this is a blitz game and calculating all the lines here, it's not easy for white. So probably white must have chosen for an easier option to go out here. He played d4 for shutting off this diagonal of this bishop, so that this e3 and e2 checks are completely stopped here. And then we have queen j6 played here. And okay, so chess the best says, please analyze my guess. Yes, chess the best. I'm just noting down your ID, Hemank 123. Let me just check. Yeah, Hemank 120. I have noted down your ID, guys. So Hemank, you can just relax. After this game, you are next in the queue. I will also go back and check in the chat section of the tournament who is the next requester for us. So Queen takes e3 was played here, and then we have. I can see a comment from Dimuthu Yaparthne. Sorry, Dimuthu, I'm pronouncing if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Thanks for giving a thumbs up and liking the video. Uh, Anything you have, you can suggest us, guys. All the viewers out there, just put in the comment section anything that comes to your mind, any questions, anything that you want to ask about databases, about the openings, about the study that you can do, how to improve your game. Any questions that you have, you can just ask in the comment section, guys. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. And right here we have queen rook f e8 was played, just going couple of moves back. So this e3 pawn was blocked off by playing the d4 pawn to d4. This bishop is now blocked, and e3 pawn is hanging. So queen to g6 was played. After queen takes e3, we have rook f e8 attacking the queen. Queen f4, and we have bishop to e6. Bishop takes e6, queen takes e6, and rook to e1 now. Queen to I was just wondering if we can capture the rook here. So rook takes, king to f2, and then we can play this rook to e8. It's not exactly winning for black, but that's just one option that black can think about. Okay, then there could be, if knight goes to d2, then c5 is the move that black can think about. Okay, so queen d7 was played here, and white played rook to e4, pawn to c6, and rook to e1.
Pawn to h6, then we have queen to h5. Pawn h6 is again, I think, not necessarily the best move. No, bishop c7 is not possible because I think there is queen takes c7, rook takes e8, check and mate. So bishop c7 is not possible, and yeah, probably h6 is not a bad move. You're just making sure there is no back rank weakness on the king side, and then I think bishop c2, bishop c7 will be effective. Okay, so we have queen to h4, bishop c7, and rook to e7. So queen h4 is again a little cunning move, so that making sure that this e7 pawn can be e7 square can be controlled by the rook. And we have bishop takes h7, king takes h7, and queen d6 check. So I am not able to understand the idea of bishop takes h2 here. Okay, I got rook takes rook was, I think, something which was forced here. Okay, if rook takes rook, there are two options: rook takes rook or queen takes rook. Either ways, you have some option to play queen d6. Okay, so for example, rook takes rook, queen takes rook. We can play queen d6, threatening queen takes h2. So queen takes queen, bishop takes queen, and then this bishop from d6 will control the e7 square, so that this rook cannot come to the seventh rank and try to get these pawns. So I think rook takes rook was kind of forced here. Just a suggestion to you, Srikara. So I think this is a blunder that you have done under the position pressure. You think that after the rook enters the seventh rank, you get bit psychologically challenged, or you get bit of into a bit of a stress here. So always remember, guys, whenever you are in stress, just relax, try to find out what is the problem, and then there is a checklist of what all things you can do. Can you give some checks? Can you defend your position? What are the pieces who can help you in defending the position? Because I can see, Srikara, you had almost 1 minute and 16 seconds still left on the clock. You could have used that time and tried to figure out what is the best move here. According to me, rook takes rook should have been played. It could have helped you to survive and probably thrive as well. Try to get some good insights on this position. Just try to put this position on the board and ask yourself, why did you play bishop takes h2? Whenever you are analyzing your game, always ask tough questions to yourself, guys. Why you have done this move? What is it that compelled you to do that move? Okay, there could have been a better move. If you would have spent some more time, you could have find a better move there. Okay, so make sure that you spend some time, use your time on the clock, and your opponent was in time pressure. Opponent was having 38 seconds while you were having 1 minute 16 seconds, so you should have used your time, Srikara. So this is the first tip that you am giving you. Don't get stressed when the opponent is attacking you. Try to keep your cool. Try to find some other moves. Try to think out of the box. Use your time. In such position, if you lose on time, sometimes that's okay, because you have invested in thinking something which might help you to win. But sacrificing in bishop takes h2 and losing the game, I think that's not the way you should play. So bishop takes h2, king takes h2, queen d6 check, king goes to h1, rook takes, and this is clearly winning now for white. Okay, let's go back to tournament. Srikala, please try to work on your stressful situations. That is going to help you to improve your game. Next is request from Hemang. Hemang, let's check your game now. And then we have a few more requests in the comment section. Okay, hold on, guys. There is a huge list in the chat section. Okay, Srikara, we have done with your game. Then we have just give me a minute, please. Okay, I'm just trying to get the list of all the players who have requested. Don't want to create any injustice to anyone. The one who has requested first, I should be taking that person's game first to analyze. Hence the reason, guys. And Hemang, yeah. So okay, Hemang, let's check your game. That's the next request from you, Hemang 123. You're playing against. You have just played one game against Jagrut, and you have won that game. Let's check your game. All the viewers out there, just make sure you like the video before you close the game window, guys. That really helps me a lot. So d4 was played in this game. D4 was played by Hemang. He's playing from white side, and Jagrut is playing from black side. So d4, d5, c4, knight c6 and pawn e3, d takes c4, bishop takes c4, knight f6. Everything is okay up till now, but I still don't like the nc6 move because it hampers your c5 break. So if you're playing from black side and if you are able to, if you're preparing this, make sure that you know what you're playing. You have to play this e5 break sometime in the game, I think. But if you put your knight back, if you keep your knight back on b8, you get the option of playing the c5 move, which I think is the better option here. Okay, e6 was played. After e6, knight to f3, bishop to b4, castles, pawn to b6. And then we have, okay, Hemang. Yeah, you're welcome, Hemang. I have just started your game. Uh, Bishop to d2, then we have bishop to b7, pawn to a3, bishop to d6, rook to c1, castles, pawn to e4. So now this is again a very nice setup by white side. This bishop is going to be ineffective for remaining part of the game. That is what I feel. Of course, this knight has some scope. If the knight moves, then this bishop might get active. But still, I feel that this bishop is not. It's not the way this position demands. This bishop should have been somewhere on the g4, and if h3, then this bishop can go to h5 and can go to g6. This is where that bishop belongs actually. Let's see what happened in the game. Knight to e7 was played, and then pawn to f5, e5. So this is a straight away miss from black side. So e4 is actually a fork which is coming here on e5, and if black is not attentive, black is not paying attention, he's going to lose the piece. That's what happened in the game. Knight e7, pawn e5, bishop f3, queen f3, and bishop takes e5, d takes e5, and we have knight. So this is actually losing for black. So from Jagrut, actually, Jagrut, if you're listening to this commentary or if you're watching this recording, make sure that you don't miss this kind of simple folks and you don't give away your pieces. But meanwhile, I'm just going back to the position where e4 was played here. So e4 is again a nice little move, nice little move, creating this tactic of the fork, as well as making sure that you get some more space as compared to black in the center. So good game from from Hemang. Congrats Hemang for this game, and I hope I wish you all the best. Actually, Hemang, I wish that you improve your game a lot and you reach a very good rating of at least 2000 very soon in next 3 to 4 months. Okay, let's go back to tournament now and let's check if there were any requests. If there are no requests, if there are no questions, I'll try to play a game. Okay, so Pawns Hurricane and Noobs India, totally understand. A lot of comments in the comment section, guys, but I don't find anything related to the analysis request. So I think that's all the requests that we have. And let's see who all are requested in the comment section of chat section of the YouTube video. Poonam Gupta had said, "Sir, please analyze my team scheme, Pawn Stars." Okay, Pawn Stars, let's try to get uh, the for few of your teammates' games as requested by Poonam. hmm So we have one player from South Africa. Let's check. Monster. He's playing with Sultan Khan, and he has played with Juan. Let's check his game with Sultan Khan. It's a live game which is going on. This is for you, Pawn Stars, the team Pawn Stars. And let's check meanwhile. Yeah, okay, so this is the game which is going on, and I'm not sure why I'm going out of the frame. I'm just trying to be in the frame as much as I can, but for some reason it's going out of the frame. Okay, so I think now I'm better. Okay, so let's check what happened. So e4 was played by Sultan Khan. E4, e6, d4, d5, French defense, knight d2. This is called as Tarash variation of French defense. If you want to prepare this, you can prepare it. And then black plays knight to f6. This is the main line of Tarash defense, but there is a shortcut way to handle this. If you try to learn Rubinstein variation of French defense, which is the d takes e4 line here, you can actually face two openings with the one preparation. Okay, those two openings are knight to d2 and knight to c3. In both cases, you can capture the pawn on e4, which is called as the Rubinstein variation. Again, I'm repeating the name so that you can Google it out. You can learn about that variation. It is called as a Rubinstein variation. And then knight will capture the pawn on e4. So even if white plays knight d2 or knight c3, you can capture the e4 pawn. Knight will come to e4. This knight can come to e4, and then you have simple knight f6, knight d7, bishop e7, castles move. And it's a simple line to play actually, Rubinstein variation. So try to prepare French defense if you like to play closed games. If you don't like to play super aggressively.
in the beginning of the game. Just try to keep some patience and then try to open up simply in the later part of middle game. You can go for the French defense. And as I said, the Rubinstein variation, it's a very easy variation to play from black side. All the players who have played Scandinavian defense, they will feel comfortable playing Rubinstein also, because some or less, somewhat, it's similar. The pattern which comes is similar to what you play in Scandinavian versus what you play in the Rubinstein. The only difference is that this bishop is back on c8 in the Rubinstein variation, while in Scandinavian you can put the bishop on f5 or g4. Okay, so knight f6 was played here, pawn to e5 was played, knight d7, knight to f3, pawn to c5, pawn to c3, knight c6, we have bishop b5, and pawn to a6, bishop takes c6. So this exchange is actually not good on c6, because now you're losing this attacking bishop, which could have been a better place, better piece on d3, actually attacking this castle king on h7. This piece can also go back on b1, and both this bishop actually are from c1 and b1 actually attack this black's king side. Okay, so a6 was played here, and bishop b5 is actually not the best move. So Sultan Khan, if you are watching this live broadcast, or if you are watching this recording, just make sure that this bishop b5 and bishop takes c6 should not be played, because this bishop is naturally a good piece on d3 as compared to putting on b5 and capturing the c6. And after you capture on c6, actually black is happy, because then black can play c takes, you can play c takes, and black can again play c5, attack your center. So pawn a6 was played, bishop takes c6, b takes c6, and knight to e2. That's what has happened, I think. Yes, immediately black plays that same line which I just quoted. He plays c5 and tries to attack the center twice. And f6, I think, again is not a good move here. F6, we need to check if there is any theory behind it, but bishop e7, castles can be played here. King is absolutely safe, because there is no light squared bishop now. Light squared bishop is gone from the board. There's no light squared bishop in white's hand who can just keep it safe on the b1 and try to attack the h7 square here. Mr. Ferris is back. Hello, Mr. Ferris. Good to see you back on live stream. Hope you're enjoying chess. Okay, and hope your weekend was also a great one. Okay, so f6 was played here. F6, pawn a3, c takes d4, queen takes d4, and bishop c5. Queen to h4, and we have f takes e5, queen takes, king takes, and black is very happy. Look at this beautiful center, guys. This is the center everyone dreams of, to have this beautiful center, and this is a passer actually. D pawn is a passer, so this is a dream position for all the French players, because they know how to win after getting a good center. Okay, so knight to g5, we have king to e7, and knight goes back to f3. So non-productive move, knight g5, and putting the knight back on f3. It's not helping anyway. Pawn to e4, bishop to g5, knight f6, knight to e5, bishop d7, rook to c1. We have bishop d6 now. Knight to c6 check, bishop takes c6, rook takes c6, and king to d7. Rook moves to c1 and rook to c8. And this again, I think black is very, very happy. So just a simple tip for everyone here. If you are pawns down, if your opponent has passers, like in this case for white, don't go for the piece exchanges, because if pieces are exchanged in the end game is going to be in favor of your opponent, because opponent is already having a passer, and probably he has an extra pawn as well, so it's going to be in favor of your opponent. So don't exchange your pieces when you're pawn down or pieces down. Just try to make sure that you create some attack and don't exchange your pieces. So in this case, white has gone exactly in the opposite direction. He has gone for the exchanges which he shouldn't have been doing here. So rook takes c8, rook takes c8, king takes c8, and bishop takes f6, and g takes f6. This is all a nice position for black, guys. Yeah, black has won the game. Of course, he should have won the game. Let's check what happened in the game quickly. Let's fast forward and come to the conclusion of the game. So king d7 was played, king f1, bishop to e5. Now again, look at this position, guys. This b2 pawn is now hanging. So knight to b3, bishop takes, yeah, it says knight c5 check is available. So probably here, after knight b3, king should have been played to this c6, knight a5 check was available, king to b4, pawn to b5, and then bishop could have gone to b2 and try to attack the a3 pawn. So that line could have been an easier one, playing the king c6 first. Because now bishop takes b2 has allowed knight c5 check, king c6, knight takes e6. I could have captured the a6 pawn because okay, but as it is a3 pawn is hanging, it's going to go on the next move, so it's no point. There is no point in going for the a6 pawn. That's okay. E6 pawn was captured. Pawn d4, pawn a4, king to d5, knight check, king moves to c5, c4, and knight takes e6. Now a pawn will make some sense here. So bishop to c3 was played just to try and stop the pawn coming to a5. King to e2, and then we have pawn d3. King moves. We have pawn f4, pawn to g3, bishop to e5. Then we have pawn to a4, a5, pawn to f5, f4, bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, and now pawn to h3. We have pawn e3, pawn takes, and bishop takes. So this is evenly poised actually. It's not winning for black. Black will still have to work a bit harder here. So after king moves, I think there was a move here which was pawn to h4, and just wait for this play because next move that is expected from black is king to b6, but that is a blunder here guys, because that is the next move which you can expect from black to play king b6, knight moves, and king takes e6, because king b6 is a blunder as this knight comes to d5 and gives this beautiful fork on e3 and the b6 square. So if king takes, then knight can capture the e3 bishop, then king can come up, capture this pawn, and then march towards this king side, try to get this pawn here, and then try to push the pawn. So white has his chances. I think white has missed something here, but yeah, bishop b6 is again a normal move where in the right. But I think white had his drawing chances, which white has not taken, and he has gone for a bad. He should not have resigned here. Actually, first thing, white should have continued here playing, and probably this e3 pawn or d3 pawn can be captured, because once this pawn falls, there is no way that this pawn can queen, because this king can just keep and come and sit on this h1 square. This square is a light square and bishop is dark square, so bishop can never control the queening square, and it would be a draw. It will be in favor of black, or, sorry, in favor of white. So white should have thought about these things, that how I can draw. Okay, white just has to come back and capture this pawn. That's it. It's winning for. It's not winning, but it's actually drawing for white. He should not have resigned here. Let's go back to tournament now and try to find any more. There are no more requests now. So guys, just if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Uh, no more requests right now, so it means that I get a chance to play today. Let's try to join the tournament from Khelo Chess India team. And so if I've forgotten anyone's game, just guys, please comment in the comment section, so that I can take your game. Even now, we still have 12 minutes remaining on the clock. Okay, and let's see who do we get to pair against. Who are leading right now? Khelo Chess India is on 5th position. Prayagraj and the best chess lovers. Look at the points, guys. 128 and 122 are just racing neck to neck, and anything can happen for the first position. For third position, I think Pons Hurricane and Chennai Chess Club are fighting really hard. For the fifth one, we have Khelo Chess India and Gujarat Lions. Sultan Khan I'm paired against. This is the guy who we just let's try to play in the Berserk mode. Okay, just trying to create some kind of fun here. Okay, I might lose this game. That's okay, but I'm just wanted to create some fun here and try to create some kind of magic, or not magic, but just try to make it interesting, guys. Okay, I'm just trying to play very fast now, and let's see how this works out for us. And I can put the bishop on e3. I think bishop g4 is now expected, so let's put queen to d2. Knight f6 is playable now. Yeah, that was expected. Let's put the knight on d4 now. We have 1 minute 15 seconds on the clock, while the opponent has 2 minutes and 48 seconds with the increment. We don't get an increment. Once you click on the berserk mode, there is no increment and your time is halved. Let's play f3. Let's try to drive this bishop away. Okay, that's nice. And now I think b5 is going to be played very soon. So let's try to play this knight to f5. Just try to attack this g7 pawn. Bishop f6 or bishop f5. There are two moves. I think bishop f5 will be played. As my experience is, yes, bishop f5 has been played. E takes f5, and now knight will come to e5 as expected. So let's put the bishop back now. I hope there was some attack on the e4, e5 square. So now the thing is, Black is going to castle on the king side, so I have to launch some attack on the king side here, probably by playing g4 and g5. I have to castle long here. Still, I am not down by any pawn or any piece, so I can afford to take some chances. f3 is hanging. If I play g4, knight takes f3 was expected. So I have to be careful here. I have bishop takes h6 available, but at least one file should be open here to exploit after bishop takes h6. Okay, now I think b5 is expected, b5 and c5 moves, but I have to make sure that I don't lose my focus. Yeah, b5 is there. I should not be afraid here. I should go for the attack as much as possible. Okay, let's put knight on e4 first. Right, okay, and now we have attack on f5, and if I play g4, f3 is going to be attacked, so I have to be very quick here. Let's just play knight g3 and support this pawn. I have to be very quick now. I think I should go for bishop takes h6. It's high time. I should not waste any further time in getting this resolved. The bishop is getting trapped here. I don't like this move. Bishop h6, gs6, c4, and I think then I can try to play. Let's play bishop g7. Just 18 seconds on the clock. There's nothing to lose now. And knight check now if bishop is captured. Yeah, let's give this check. King moves, and I think I can play. I can play queen h6 actually. Yeah, I think I can play queen h6. Yes. And now there is a mate threat, so rook will be played here. And now I think I can play g4, g5. But this bishop f8 is coming very hard on me. So and bishop takes f7 is also possible. Bishop check. Oh, I missed it. I missed this move. Okay. Okay. I think this is losing for me, but yeah. I think f4 was there. Okay, I can still play f4. Attack both the pieces right now. Pawn takes, and now knight has to move. Knight moves to which square? I can capture the f7 pawn then. Queen takes c4. Queen takes, sorry, this move, f5. Queen takes f4, king to b1, knight check, and I can put the king inside again. King to a1. Knight check is expected now. Okay, knight check. Oh, queen b2 mate. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to enjoy. Had a nice game, and let's try to play one more game, guys. Okay, I'm just playing some fast chess. Some it might not be entertaining for you, and this time, okay, this time I will not play in the berserk mode. Let's try to play a standard game without the berserk mode. Okay, so my opponent is playing in berserk mode. Let's try to play in the berserk mode then. If my opponent is going for the berserk mode, okay. D4 e5, I can just play pawn to d5. I don't want to give any chances to my opponent. That is saying, oh, e4 is hanging. I should not have given this pawn. This time let's go for a better attack. I'm just making sure that my pawn reaches this h5 and then I'm able to exchange here on the g6 square. Pawn b5, I know it is free, but I don't want to capture it. I want to just destroy this castle. I have to make sure there is no queen c7 check immediately over here. And this was played to... Okay, let's try to play f4 move. And what do we have here? What do we have here? E4 was attacked. Bishop takes, queen takes, and now let's try to put the rook on c1. Oh, queen d3 check. I missed it. I missed queen d3 check, guys. Yeah, I think queen b3 is something he's going to play now. I should support the b2 pawn. Even though it is hanging, I should support it. And now rook to here, supporting this b2 pawn again. Pawn takes, king takes, rook f1 check is not available. Bishop takes a6, pawn to f5, queen b2, queen takes, bishop takes, and pawn takes rook. And now pawn to f7. I think king it takes. Yeah, I think I am lost. Oh, I lost on time. Okay, that's fine, guys. Okay, and what's happening right now? Still 3 minutes remaining, guys. Should I play a game or let's check one of the top games right now, which is going between Unusual and Ronak. So I played a couple of games and I lost, so that's fine actually. It's just a berserk mode trying to enjoy the game. So we have Vishal is saying Bishop G5 is a fork. Vishal, I am not. I just saw your comment. I was playing. I was not concentrating on the chat. I'll check again the game. We'll have to go back and check. So pawn d5, knight c3, pawn e6, pawn e4. So pawn e4 is actually again very rarely played in this position. It gets converted into the pano attack of the Karokan defense. And let's see what happens next. D takes e4, knight takes e4, and then we have knight to f6 and knight takes f6, queen takes f6, knight f3. Pawn h6, bishop to d3, knight to d7, castles, bishop e7, pawn to b3, pawn to c5. This is a nice move actually, just making sure that you get some kind of discovered attack on this rook. If pawn takes pawn or pawn d5, you can get this rook on a1. Okay, so bishop to b2 was played, castles, and we are actually even pawn to, okay, queen e2 was first played because we can now support the bishop, and now d5 is possible to attack this queen here. Okay, so pawn takes, we have bishop takes and queen to f4, pawn to g3, queen to g4, king to g2, bishop to d4. We have pawn to h3, queen goes to h5. And here I was just wondering if we can play pawn to g4. We can, then the queen has to go to the a4, a5 square. Okay, let's see what happens. So queen e4 was not a bad move. Pawn g6, and we have pawn to b4. After pawn to b4, we have queen to f5, queen to e2. Bishop is now attacking the queen, and of course this attack is still there on the board. So we have queen takes f3, queen takes f3. Okay, it was a draw. Let's check what happened here. Let's quickly fast forward to the position. Queen to f5, we have queen to e2, queen takes f3, queen takes f3, bishop takes d4. And actually black went for a couple of pieces here for the queen. And so black has now a couple of bishops and a knight, two rooks versus the rooks, two rooks, bishop and queen. So in short, we can say that uh, black is having a knight and the bishop for the queen, white's queen. Okay, so that's actually not balanced, but still we'll see how black managed to get a draw out of this position. So rook e1 was played, rook b8, queen f4, pawn to b6. We have queen to d6 and bishop to b7 check. Bishop to e4, bishop takes e4, rook takes e4, knight to f6, rook to f4, knight to h5, we have rook to f3, queen to rook to c8, we have pawn to c5, b takes c5, b takes c5, and knight to f6, pawn to c6, knight to e4. Again, there is an attack on this queen, but this passer is actually strong, and if white is able to get this passer to the over the boundary, then white should win this one. Okay, but black actually is trying to hold on very nicely. Finally, this. Okay, so tournament is over. It's a final rank for the tournament. Let's quickly finish off this game, guys. So knight c5, queen to c4, rook takes c6, rook to c1, rook to c8. and queen to b5 here. Okay, queen to b5. I think here draw was offered and draw was accepted by black. Uh, Still, there were a lot of things to be covered. I mean, white could have gone for some attack, some kind of tactics here. If probably just putting the rook on f4 and trying to get the rook on this c4 square, that could have been interesting here. Anyway, the draw was accepted here. Let's go back to tournament and check the winners for today, guys. And these are the results for today's 99th Khelo Chess India team battle. Prayagraj Future GMs have won the tournament with 155 points, a huge gap with the best chess lovers with around 13 points. And then we have the best chess lovers on 142, Chennai Chess Club on 115, Pawns Hurricane on 109, Gujarat Lions on 105, and Khelo Chess India on 85, Abhi Chess Club on 84, and Chess Blasters. Not a good participation from Chess Blasters this time, but still they managed to score 38 points. Pawn Stars, again, we have only 6 players participating. So Chess Blasters, Pawn Stars, and World Chester, of course, we have not we have taken as a uh, we have marked it as red. So Pawn Stars and Chess Blasters just request you to bring in more players from tomorrow. And from the individual point of view, let's check who has topped the list. Unusual from Paragraj has won the today's individual tournament, or you can say the individual ranking with 36 points, not a single loss in you can see in the streak. Then we have Dharma from the Best Chess Lovers. He has lost a couple of games, but he has managed to finish up on 25 points. GST Guna from Chennai Chess Club, and uh, the unknown winner is on 23, SRB on 23, Rono I on 23. So almost 3 players on 23, and then we have just 1 point down from Advocate Harish Mishra from Prayagraj Future GMs on 22 points. Eric Soro from Pons Hurricane on 21, Sony Atharva on 21, and Arson Chess on 21. So a beautiful tournament, guys, coming to a beautiful end. And we have analyzed most of the games. I can see a comment from Aditya Srivastav saying, yes, Vishal, correct. So Bishop G5 4, I'll still check Vishal by going back into that game and checking. I'll check what did I miss there. But sometimes, guys, it becomes difficult to just do the commentary and play at the same time. I have seen this happening with me long time when I do commentary and play at the same time. I definitely miss out some things because the mind is concentrating towards more about speaking the stuff than thinking about it. So we have analyzed most of the games, or almost today we have 6 to 7 games that we have analyzed today with all the details given for all the requesters, and that's I think all for today's live broadcast, guys. I have just broadcasted a new video for you all. Okay, it's about the skid database, which is, I'll quickly bring up the window for you guys. So that is a Skid database, Skid on the go, which is a mobile database. You can install the mobile database on your mobile itself if you don't have a PC. Actually, I got a call, I got up some messages from a few players who are not having laptop or PC at their homes due to some problems, financial problems, or they are out somewhere working for some company or on the hostel. So they don't have this PC or laptop. So they were asking me, sir, how we can actually uh, learn the database and how we can use the database just by using our mobiles. Okay, so for them specifically, for all the people out there who like traveling, who don't have laptops and PCs at their homes, this will all you guys just make sure that you watch this video, guys, and definitely it is going to help you. I'm just making sure that the screen is correct in front of you. So this is the video, guys, wherein probably it might be getting cropped in between. So this video explains how you can install a database in your mobile itself. It's a mobile database that you can install, and then you can also search the games. You can enjoy your openings, whichever positions that you like. And this is actually a beautiful thing that I found out recently, which you can use in your games, and you can try to improve your games, guys. So that's all I think from my side, guys. Do make sure that you please check this video and also hit the like button. We already have 10 likes and around 60 views. I have published this in the evening, So that's all, guys, from my side. I think we have had a beautiful tournament today. We enjoyed a lot and had a good briefing. So there are no more questions in the comment section and no more requests for any of the analysis. So I think we are good to close for today. I will make sure that I'll make sure I'll just try to be online tomorrow. Tomorrow is our 100th Khelo Chess India team battle, so I'm very excited. I want to be there doing the online broadcast for all you guys, but I am not sure right now if I would be able to do it. I will try my level best to come there. Okay, at 9:30 p.m. tomorrow IST. So just make sure that you tune into the channel and just check if the video is live. And that's it, guys, from my side. This is goodbye from Ahmed Sawan for today. Have a good